Hello, everybody. This is Mrs. Stacy. Thank you for tuning into this video. This is my first video that I've tried to do online, and it's been quite an exercise. Mr. Jax helped me and my husband. Anyway, this particular video will review the concept of in all and the plus sign in addition. So if you're all ready to begin, first of all, actually, before we begin, I need you to find your pencil box. Out of your pencil box, you need to get your crayons. And go get a piece of paper. It can be just a scratch piece of paper. Any kind of paper is fine. Because you're just going to write something on it. You're not going to have to turn it in. So go ahead and look for that, and I'll give you some time. Thank you for being patient. I'm just waiting a little bit longer for everyone to get out their crayons. Now, if this video happens to go too quickly, you can always play it again. So now I will go to the next slide. Okay, this slide is a math review again, as I said, on the concept of in all. In all means everything. Now let's go to the example, which is in the left-hand corner. I have the math problem written out. 6 and 2 is 8. Now, I do better when I draw things down to help me in math. I'm not very good at math and figuring out things in my head. So 6 is my first number. So I took one of my favorite crayons. I took red, but you can take any color you want, and draw 6 objects. I drew 6 circles because that's easy. So go ahead and draw 6 objects. Okay, very good. Now to 6 and 2 is 8. We've already drawn 6 objects. So now take a different crayon and color two additional objects. That means 2 more objects in that other color. And I'll wipe as you do that. Very good. Now count all the objects together. That means count everything that you've drawn. Okay, let's do it together. I will point to it, but you won't see what I'm pointing, but you can count you can point as I count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You should have counted 8. So you have 8 now. That means you counted all of them. Now let's go to the problem below that. It is 3 and 1 is blank in all. Now below that, I have again drawn a picture using my favorite colors, red and green. I started by drawing 3 red circles because the problem starts with the number 3. So you may go ahead and do that. Draw 3 objects using your favorite color. And I'll wait. Then we have, it goes 3 and 1. So take another color and draw one additional object or one more object. And go ahead and I'll wait. Actually, I goofed. Excuse me. You will notice I have 3 red objects, so you don't have to draw them. And you will see 1 green object. So now count all the objects. That means count in all, means count all the objects. And you should have 4. Now let's go to the next column of problems. Let's start with 4 and 2 is blank. Now you'll notice that I don't have any illustrations underneath these problems, so you will have to do the illustrations yourself. That means the pictures. You do not have to write the problem down. The problem goes 4 and 2 is blank. So we're going to start with 4. Take one of your colors and draw 4 objects on a piece of paper. And I'll wait, you may begin. Now you draw 2 more objects using a different crayon because it says 4 and 2. You may begin. Now count all the objects you have all together, even if they're different colors. Count them all. Count them again. Did you get 6? That is what you should have gotten. And you all know how to write 6 by now. Excuse me, I have something on here. So a 6, remember, is like a capital C and then a circle at the bottom. So the answer is 6. Now let's go on to the problem below that. It says 2 and 3. So again, you will use your crayons. Using your crayons, and draw 2 objects on a piece of paper in the same color. Go ahead, and I will wait. Good job. Now the problem again is 2 and 3. So using another crayon, draw 3 more objects using that second crayon. And you may begin and I'll wait. Now go back and count how many objects you have together. I usually just color something like circles or squares because they're simple. Don't try to draw something complicated. It will take you too long. Count them twice. If you got 5, you are correct. So I will show you what the number 5 looks like. Remember? Cross, down, and around. Very good. Now we're going to go to the last problem on this page. It reads 5 and 3 is blank. Now, again, you're going to use your crayon and a piece of paper. The problem begins with 5, so you draw 5 objects. Again, make them simple because we don't have a lot of time. You may begin. Now after that says 5 and 3. So you're right. You would take another crayon and draw 3 more objects. And I'll give you time. You may begin. Now, in all means you need to go back and count all the objects, no matter what color they are. Count all of the objects. You may begin. And you might want to count it again. Now, I'm hoping you got the number 8 because that is the answer. That is how many objects or things you had in all. Very good. Now, let's go to the next page, which is our third page. Now we are going to talk about the symbol that looks like a cross or a lowercase t. It's used in addition, and it's called the plus sign, or you can say and. Takes the place of the word and, so it means and or plus. Let's go to our first problem on the page. It says 2 plus 3 is 5, or you could read it 2 and 3 is 5. If you look very carefully, you will see 2 red circles underneath the word, underneath the number 2, and you will see 3 green circles kind of underneath the number 3. Now you're going to count them all together to find out how many you have in all. And you have 5 in all. So again, it says 2 plus 3 is 5, or 2 and 3 is 5. Now let's go to the next one, next problem. It goes 3 plus 1 is 4, or you can say 3 and 1 is 4. Again, if you want to, on a piece of paper, take 1 crayon and draw 3 objects. You may begin. Remember, do not make them fancy. Make them quick and simple. Okay, when you're done with that, you need to take another crayon and draw 1 more object. Now, if you go back and count them all, you will find that you have 4 objects in all. That means you counted all of them, no matter what color they are. Now let's go to the last problem on the page. The problem is 4 plus 4 is 8. And I will also read it the other way, which is also correct. 4 and 4 is 8. Again, using a crayon, you can do this on a piece of paper. Draw 4 objects in 1 color of crayon, using 1 color of crayon. Again, do something simple like circles or squares. And I will wait. Good job. So you have 4 in 1 color and 4 in another color. Now count all your objects together and you should have 8. Again, I'll read the problem both ways. 4 plus 4 is 8, and 4 and 4 is 8. Now I will go to the next screen. And on this screen, it's a review. We're going to talk about in all and the symbol, which means plus or and. Our first problem is 2 plus 2 equals, I goofed. It's 2 plus 2 is what in all? Or again, I could say 2 and 2 is what in all? Now you have to figure out the answer, how many we have in all. So you will need your crayons for this one and a piece of paper. Take one color crayon and color 2 objects down on your paper. You may begin. Now it says 2 plus 2, so you need to take your other crayon and draw 2 more objects. So you have 2 objects in one color and 2 more in a different color. I will wait. Then you may count all the objects. Remember to count the objects in both colors together. And you should get 4 in all. In all means all of the objects. Now let's go to the one below it. It is 3 plus 4 is blank. Or you can say 3 and 4 is blank. Do the same thing with your crayons. Take one color and on a piece of paper, draw 3 objects. Then it says plus 4. So you take a different crayon and draw 4 more. Then count how many objects you have all together, and you should have 7. Remember, now means what you have if you count all the objects you've drawn. Now let's go to the top right column, and you will see the top problem, which says 7 plus 3 is blank. Again, take a crayon, draw 7 small objects on a piece of paper. Then when you're done, take a different crayon and using that crayon, draw 3 more objects. Then count how many objects you have in all. That means count all the objects that you just drew, the ones in 2 different colors. And you should have 10. Now let's go to the very last problem on that page. And it says 4 plus 5 is blank in all. Or you could say 4 and 5 is blank. Again, taking a crayon, draw 4 objects on your piece of paper. Now it says 4 plus 5, so take another crayon and draw 5 objects using that color of crayon. Now count all the objects you have together. You should have 9. Okay, this is the last page of our math video. I want to thank you for pressing on this link and listening to it very carefully. Also, I also have a reading video which you need to click on to also. And after you've listened to the videos, click on assignments. I have a very simple assignment for you to do. When you're done doing your assignments, your parent can help you get into that, and all you need to click is done. You don't need to show it to me, but that is how I take attendance. So it is very important that you do that assignment. Thank you very much.